Welcome to the Restoration Pros Unplugged podcast. In each episode, we're going to bring you insightful interviews and discussions with top restoration industry leaders. We're also going to delve into their business, the strategies that made them successful, and most importantly, the valuable lessons they learned along the way. I'm your host, Clinton James. I'm also the Chief Marketing Officer at Water Restoration Marketing. We're a digital marketing agency dedicated to helping restoration companies nationwide secure more high-value water jobs. Now, this show, it aims to provide you with the knowledge and tools you need to excel in the restoration industry. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome, folks, to another episode of the Restoration Pros Unplugged podcast. I am your host, Clinton James. I'm also the Chief Marketing Officer at Water Restoration Marketing.
And I am your co-host, Bobby Thomas. I am the CEO of Extreme Services.
All right, Bobby, glad to have you on board. Today, we're going to be talking about adding an additional service for restoration companies to increase their revenues, right? So I'm not really a firm believer that restoration is a seasonal business. Even when there's not flooding, even when there's not storms, there's still other like appliances in a home that can cause emergency water damage and a need for restoration companies there. But I do recognize that depending on where you are in the country, there are certainly some peaks and some valleys in terms of the volume of water jobs that you're going to get, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. What do those peaks look like for you? What's the busiest part of your year in terms of emergency water damage?
So wintertime is actually a good time for us because in my markets, we have a lot of freezing pipes, burst pipes, hot water heaters busting, things of that nature in the wintertime. Don't get me wrong, in the summertime, you have bust pipes too. So there's two different narratives of bust pipes. So wintertime is more so pipes in your walls, underneath your sink, things of that nature. More so in the spring and summertime, believe it or not, we get a lot of hot water heaters that bust. ACs are running 24/7 in this hot Tennessee and Alabama weather. So AC lines are busting during that period of time. So yeah, there are different variables to pipes and things of nature busting. Yes.
Okay. Well, even though restoration business should be coming in year round, there's always an opportunity to add some additional services to increase revenue. One of those services that you've added to both your locations is air duct cleaning. Now, for those in the restoration space that for some reason are just not familiar what air duct cleaning, what that service is, can you explain it to our audience?
Yeah, sure. Duct cleaning is essentially going into a homeowner's home and you're cleaning out their ventilation system. You know, whether it's their return, all the individual returns, whether they're in the ceiling or the floor. And this is really big too because a lot of people have allergies. So from what I find is that people really try to get their ducts clean and sanitize their systems, and it helps with an overall healthier breathing environment as well.
Okay. Now, is this a one-time service, or for these clients that you're doing air duct cleaning, do you find yourself going back every 6 months, every 12 months to perform the service?
No, so it's not a reoccurring service, unlike some other home services may be. Air duct cleaning you may get done maybe once a year, once every 3 years. And it also it varies on what type of lifestyle you're living. Do you have a lot of pets?
Okay.
Do you smoke? Different things of that nature too. So that kind of, determines the frequency of how often you can clean too.
All right, so talk a little bit big picture, on what the immediate impacts of adding air duct cleaning was for Extreme Services.
So the impact of immediately adding air duct cleaning, it was really big for us because you have a pretty decent sized ticket on air duct cleaning. Now, prices range, uh, vary depending on what part of the country that you're in. But
Okay.
for us, on average, we charge a flat fee of $550 per unit. So essentially, if you're in a regular size home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, living room, that's 1 unit, right? So we're gonna charge a flat fee of $550 for that. Now you do get into some of the larger homes and you have 2 units. So, 550 times two. So you can see that your tickets can go up a little bit higher with air duct cleaning. And again, with it being a home service, that you're doing directly for the customer is something that you get paid cash on demand, right? So you get paid as soon as that service is over. So that's what makes air duct cleaning extremely profitable. You don't have to wait for your invoices to get paid like you do on the insurance side.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about that because what kind of time does a technician spend on site when they're performing air duct cleaning? Let's say for just a standard single family residence, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, one unit.
Yeah, absolutely. So to do a thorough job on a home that size, I mean, we're looking just a couple hours, 2 hours.
Okay. So 2 hours, $550. Do you have to go out and find somebody to do air duct cleaning, or are you using the existing water mitigation techs that you've already trained?
So we use in-house technicians. So we train them to do air duct cleaning. And also, again, it depends on your state. Every state requires different has different guidelines. Like in Alabama, in order to do air duct cleaning, you have to have your HVAC license. And
Oh.
that's the same for some other states as well too. But not every state requires your HVAC license, but we are required to have our license to do air duct cleaning.
Okay, so depending on the state that you're in, the first thing that you should do is research whether or not you need that HVAC license in order to perform air duct cleaning
Absolutely.
services. Okay. If it does require you to get that HVAC license, what does that process look like? Because you've obviously had to do it.
Right. So in order to get your HV, it's a state thing. So it's not a national license that you have. So it's whatever state that you're in. You're going to take their credentialing and their classes, and you're going to sit for the state exam to get your license. So that's essentially what the process is. It's pretty straightforward. Now, programs can vary in time. They have some programs that are accelerated, that are maybe 90 days. You have some that are 6 months. You have some that are 2-year programs. It just depends on what program you're going to enroll in and how long it takes you to get your HVAC license.
Can you talk about when you how long have you been providing air duct cleaning services?
So we've been doing duct cleaning, say about probably about 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because your state required that you go get that HVAC license, how did you go about getting that HVAC license? Did you do a short course? Did you do a long course?
So I actually did a short course. I did it was a night course. It was 2 nights a week. It was on Monday and Tuesday, and it was from 6 p.m. to um 6 6 to 9. So it was a 3-hour course, 2 nights a week.
Okay.
And that was over a course of 6 months.
Okay. So it took you 6 months to get that HVAC license before you could then offer the air duct cleaning services.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong, like, sometimes you get started before you're supposed to get started, and we were the company that got started before we were supposed to get started. Sometimes, as a business owner, you look at different revenue opportunities, and then you start to dig deeper and find like, oh wow, I really need this certification or license. But a good place to start with air duct cleaning is the NADCA Association. That's the National Association of Air Duct Cleaners Association. That's a great place for anybody looking to do duct cleaning to look at, and it can tell you what different guidelines are in your state. And it's also good to get that NADCA certification as well, because they do have one too.
Okay. NADCA, is that it? Tell our audience
Yeah,
one more time the name of that
yeah.
association.
It's the NADCA Association, National Association of Duct Cleaning.
Okay. I know it was years ago, and your memory probably isn't as good as it used to be, but do you remember roughly what the costs were in terms of the course and then the annual licensing?
For NADC or HVAC.
Well, for HVAC, let's talk about that one first.
Okay. So HVAC, it like I said, that's a state thing. I don't necessarily want to put numbers out there for that because
Okay.
a state can vary. But before the before the Duct NDCA Association, let me pull it up right now. Let's give you real numbers. I don't
Okay.
want to try to make this stuff up. Let's see. So it's the ASCS certification. It's the Air Systems Cleaning Specialist certification.
Okay.
And let's see what the price is on that one. Let's see. All right, let's see. Get certified, study. So, So I will say this now: when you do their certification,
Mhm.
you do have to study for the test. It's a proctor exam, similar to an IICRC course, to where you're sitting in front of your computer, the camera is on, and they will watch you while you're taking that test.
Okay, got it, got it.
Um, you know what, Clinton? Here we go. It says right here, it's 385 is what it
Okay,
is.
so $385 to take the exam. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So that's to get that certification. Everybody should look up on a state by state basis what are the costs, whether it's necessary to get that HVAC license, and then what the associated costs are with that.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. I mean, getting with the association, they can kind of, I mean, they know what's going on in the industry because this is their bread and butter. But they can let you know if you actually need an HVAC license. Like I say, each state is a little different.
Okay. Let's talk about the initial investment in equipment. What did you have to go out and purchase in order to provide duct cleaning services?
So my very first unit was a spin vac, and that costs roughly $5,000.
Okay. Since then, have you had to upgrade that equipment, or is that handle most of the work that you guys do?
So we do upgrade, because as you grow and you get more jobs, you want to get more efficient.
Okay.
So we actually have a trailer unit now, to where we're able to operate out of our trailer instead of taking the air compressor and things of that nature inside the house. We can go on for hoses and things of that nature and go ahead and suck all the debris out of the ducts.
Okay. I guess the next thing is going to be training, right? Not just for yourself, but for the technicians who are going to be going on site and providing the service there. So, how long did it take you to train your existing technicians on how to do this additional service?
Gotcha. Well, I will say this, I was extremely blessed. A couple of my guys actually had some experience in air duct cleaning.
Okay.
I have a couple guys that have their HVAC license too, so it kinda just worked itself out, but, if you don't have anybody that has experience in duct cleaning, you know, I would say definitely go through the National Association for Ducks, because those training courses will give them what they needed, and then also you can go do the hands-on. But hands-on for learning duct cleaning, it's not a lot. It's not a huge learning curve. I say if you have somebody in the field willing to learn, I say a solid 4 weeks is all that you need.
Okay, so 4 weeks, you can get a technician up,
Yeah,
running, trained. A little bit of an investment in terms of equipment in order to get started, but that equipment should pay for itself pretty quickly at
absolutely.
$550 per unit, and that's just in your market. In different markets, that number could be significantly higher depending.
Right.
Okay,
And then also it depends on what services you offer in duct cleaning. We simply just clean ducts, but you have some companies that seal ducts as well too. That's another service.
okay.
So, but there's different avenues and different profit centers for duct cleaning.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what it's meant to the bottom line for extreme services, right? So, how much of your revenue now on an annual basis would you guess comes from duct cleaning versus restoration or carpet cleaning services?
So duct cleaning, I want to say, is probably about 25% of our revenue.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big number there. I know we're going to be working with you doing some digital marketing stuff, but
Mhm.
prior to working with our agency to promote that service, what was the best way for you to go about getting new duct cleaning clients?
You know, what you just said was perfect. Digital marketing is a big part of it. Direct mail is as well too, because people actually do go to their mailbox. Direct mail is more effective than what people really realize.
Okay, so direct mail. Man, it's been so long since I've talked to a client about a direct mail campaign, but that's primarily because I focus on emergency services there.
Right.
Helping somebody like yourself to get more air duct cleaning, my brain starts to spinning all the ways that we can do that. Now, primarily, I think promoting that service starts with a good website, a Google
Mhm.
business profile that's optimized. That way that people in your market that are searching for duct cleaning services, you show up, right? And there's a couple places that you can show up. We can run local service ads, which are at the top of the page. We can run PPC, which is right below that. Then we can also optimize your Google business profile so that when somebody's looking for keywords that relate
Mhm.
to duct cleaning, that you'll show up in that map pack there. And if we can get you into that map pack, you're basically printing money. Uh,
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
you're going to get high intent calls from folks that are looking specifically for that service. All right. So, any bad experiences? So, when you first rolled out the service, what do you wish you knew then that you know now years later, adding air duct cleaning to the mix?
Um, Training and experience. That's the biggest thing.
Okay.
'Cause last thing you want to do is be in somebody's home and run into a hiccup because you're just not knowledgeable. A lot of trunk lines. Most homeowners have trunk lines in their home, which are the insulation, and you can't use a whip system in that trunk line because it'll tear it up. So I've had to pay for a trunk line before. So it's very important to know what tools to use,
Okay.
what type of lines that you're cleaning, and the methods that you're using to clean, so that you're efficient for yourself, the customer, and you're not losing money when you're doing jobs.
Okay. All right. So, training should not be undervalued. You should be
Exactly.
looking for a tool quick just to get started working because you could really mess up somebody's HVAC system if you don't know what you're doing, providing air
Absolutely.
duct cleaning
And
service.
that's the purpose. A lot of states are going now to where you have to have your HVAC license because it has been an issue that's been reported with certain duct cleaners. I've seen online people doing Facebook ads. Get your ducts clean, $99. Can't effectively get your ducts clean for $99. There's somebody in there to get a quick buck. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
All right, so let's talk a little bit about that because I think Meta might be a good place to advertise for this kind of service, right? Facebook, Instagram, but you see a lot of bad offers out there. So why do you think that companies are advertising $99 duct cleaning when you know you can't effectively clean someone's unit for $99? Is it a bait and switch offer?
No, they're now certified real air duct cleaners.
Okay. Okay, well that's it.
So that's what I was getting at before. You know how you get started before you get started. That's those guys. That's those guys.
Okay. When you get a call, somebody that's interested in air duct cleaning, what's that phone call look like? Do you end up selling the job over the phone, or do you need to go do an on-site visit in order to effectively sell the job?
We typically can sell it over the phone.
Ah,
9 times out of 10, the customer has a specific need that they're looking for. It could be a need like I've been in the house for 15 years and never had my ducts clean. I want to get them clean. It could be, I have allergies. I'm doing a lot of sneezing. And duct cleaning can go with the restoration side as well too, especially after you have a water damage. You know what? I'm smelling mold in my house, so we can go in and do an inspection of their system to see if they have mold in their system as well.
it's a great cross-sell opportunity, right? So you're already in there, you're providing water restoration services. Maybe you did mold remediation as well, but there's always going to be an opportunity for you to then layer in that air duct cleaning service at the end, and that's something that you don't bill the insurance company for. That's something that you can get cash on delivery from directly from the homeowner there.
Absolutely. So only time we bill insurance companies for air duct cleaning is on a fire. So we bill insurance directly on that. But when it comes to most water jobs and things of nature, you're billing them directly. And then, like I said, as soon as that job is done, that's money in your pocket. It's got cash available right now.
All right, so we talked a little bit about what you charge currently in your 2 locations per
Mhm.
unit. What kind of profitability are you looking for that? Because it's only 2 hours, you've already made the investment in the equipment, marketing costs, or you're hoping in, like, 10%, of whatever it costs to actually whatever the service is, right? You want your marketing costs to be in that 10% range.
Right.
What kind of profitability do you see from a service like air duct cleaning? Extremely.
Yeah. So yeah, it's extremely profitable. It's similar to water damage, to be honest with you, because water damages. We're getting about 75% on water damages. Air duct cleaning, we're probably closer to 60%.
Okay. All right. Sounds profitable. I understand the point of wanting to add additional services there, especially again, it's not a seasonal business, but there are certainly times
Right.
when you've got technicians that aren't on water jobs, right?
Right.
How can we keep those guys busy and have them continue to generate revenue for the business? So layering in a service like air duct cleaning is a great opportunity for that. Um, what we want the audience to remember is one, check with your state,
Mhm.
find out what the required licenses are. Make sure you do the training. Don't try to half-ass it, right? Complete
Exactly.
because you don't want to mess up somebody's HVAC system because ultimately you're going to end up footing the bill for that if you do,
Yeah.
right?
It's not worth going into someone's home to make, 100 or 300 bucks, just to have some money in your pocket because it's an easy add-on service,
Mhm.
but, if you do run into an issue, it's not worth the problem that you're gonna have without the training. You might be able to make that 300 bucks now, but if you mess somebody's system up, you might be spending 15,000 to replace their whole system, so you have to weigh what's more important.
All right, quick reminder, in terms of the equipment that you'll need to go out and purchase, give our audience some feedback in terms of some good brands and some good units that they could purchase to provide air duct cleaning services?
Yeah, like I said, when we got started with SpinVac. Um, that's really good. What we use now, I think it's kind of like the gold standard now is Nicro is really good. And then also, what is it? Hypervac. Hypervac is what we use with the trailer.
Okay.
So it's that's when you're enclosed. The big bags and vacuums come out the top of your unit. Similar to what you would see with Stanley Steamer and things of that nature.
All right. So, let's talk about competitors in the marketplace. Do you see a lot of folks that own restoration companies now providing duct cleaning services, or is there still not as many duct cleaning services as there are restoration companies in a community?
Well, I think the barrier to entry is a little tougher now. Everybody's not going out to get their HVAC license.
Okay.
So, my biggest competition is really HVAC companies, not
Yep.
carpet cleaning companies or restoration companies.
Okay. Got it. Got it. And in terms of marketing, you found that direct mail works well. And then
Absolutely.
on the digital marketing side, there's opportunities to run ads on social media. But really, if you want those high intent prospects, there, best place to do is just to be found on Google, right? Whether it's
Absolutely.
service ads, whether it's pay per click, or whether you've got your Google business profile showing up in the map pack when people are looking to get their ducks cleaned there. So,
Correct.
um,
Exactly.
and if you need help with that, my agency can certainly help promote those services for you as well, audience. So, all right, Bobby, I think this is a good conversation. Any last tips or advice you want to give the audience if they're kind of on the fence in terms of looking at air duct cleaning as a service?
Um, I would say, just give it a shot. You know what I mean? What do you have to lose? It's an opportunity to add a revenue center. It's not super expensive to get started. Um, And like I said, if you are a restoration company and you already do fires, you can add that on to doing that as well too, and build an insurance company.
Okay.
Um, but like I say, I mean, I wouldn't give too much pushback to air duct cleaning. It's just a matter of going out there, doing it, learning, getting the education that you need, similar to restoration. Like IICRC, but on the air duct cleaning space, right? So, and then also get with you so that you can get them some jobs.
There we go. You guys are interested in getting more restoration or, in this case, air duct cleaning jobs, my agency, Water Restoration Marketing, you can find us at waterrestorationmarketing.net. We can certainly help you with that. Bobby, thank you for your time. Hope the audience got a lot of value out of this. We appreciate you guys sticking around. Restoration Pros Unplugged will be back with more interviews, more insights, some potentially additional services that you guys can add to the mix to increase your revenues there. So, in the meantime, thank you, Bobby. And to our audience, we want you to stay safe, stay dry, and stay busy. Thank you for listening to the Restoration Pros Unplugged podcast. If you like what you heard today, be sure to subscribe, share, and also leave us a 5-star review. We'll be back with more interviews and discussions with restoration industry leaders really soon. In the meantime, if you're a restoration company looking to add more high-value water jobs, you can reach me and my team at waterrestorationmarketing.net. Again, that's waterrestorationmarketing.net. I look forward to hearing from you soon.